I don't know how ancient telescope builders did their work without being annoyed to death. At least today, NASA has ephemerides tables just available on the internet. Ephemerides. E-P-H-E-M-E-R-I-D-E-S. Ephemerides. First off, this word was suggested by Reddit user Red Riding Hood. So thank you to Red Riding Hood. Okay, let's talk about meaning and pronunciation and history all at once. Ephemerides, what are they? Well, it is a plural word, and ephemerides describe a collection of data or a set of data that in turn describe the position of astronomical bodies or celestial bodies in the sky. So, for example, if I wanted to track where Mars is in the sky relative to where I am on the Earth, well, I could go to NASA's data on the internet, their ephemerides tables, and put in time of day, put in where I am, latitude, longitude, whatever, and find out, okay, where is Mars? Well, it tells me at this XYZ time and date, Mars is at this inclination in the sky or this ascension, and, gives you the coordinates or parameters that you need to locate it in the sky. And so if you're an aerospace engineer, or you're an electrical engineer, or you're a mechanical engineer, and you're designing like a satellite or some kind of imaging system to look at the sky, or maybe you're aiming something at the moon or the sun, you might want to look up these coordinates, these celestial coordinates. And that's how it relates to engineering. It's also a very cool sounding word. That's just my personal opinion. It's a word that nobody really says. And speaking of saying things, let's talk about the pronunciation. I said ephemerides, or ephemerides, and it's really awkward to say. I'm pretty sure I'm saying it how most other people in the field are saying it, because I did have to Google this and check it out. But also the reason why I think I'm pronouncing it right is that the word ephemerides comes from Greek. Its etymology is Greek, and it's very close to that word ephemeral. You might know the word ephemeral as a regular non-engineering English word that means fleeting. It means temporary. It means quick lasting or short lasting, and it's very poetic. I like that word ephemeral. And it's bittersweet and melancholy and all that stuff. But anyway, it comes from Greek, and just like the Greek goddess Aphrodite or the other Greek god Hades, even though it ends in DES or IDES, you don't say Ides, you don't say Aphrodite, you don't say Hades, you say Aphrodite and Hades. And so that's why ephemerides or ephemerides would be pronounced how it is, coming from its Greek roots. And ephemerides is a plural word, and it is a collection of lots of data, and a single set of data or a single piece of data would be ephemeris, which is even cooler sounding. And the reason why it probably has this extra poetic meaning for me is that I know that it was used historically in more ancient times by the astronomers who looked at the sky. And, ancient Greek astronomers probably and others would go and calculate the position of Mars and constellations and all these other things in the sky and plot them down in a little table in a calendar format. And it's the old version of what NASA now does for you today on the internet. And Google has this cool feature where you can look at the frequency at which certain words are used in literature and in books. And the word ephemeris and the word ephemerides, the plural, both of those have been declining in use since the 1700s, according to Google and their Google Books project. And so, yeah, it's a word that could be sort of disappearing unless you have more astronomers and aerospace people rising in prominence. So maybe this will be one of those technical words that becomes more like poetry, and I personally am a fan of that. That's our engineering word of the day, ephemerides. Hi, this is Pius Wong, your resident engineer and host. I just wanted to invite you to check out the K-12 Engineering Education Podcast, because if you're listening to this show, the Engineering Word of the Day, then you might be interested in that podcast too. Want more information? Just go over to k12engineering.net. Thanks.